Alright guys, so I wanted to show you a little bit about what's been going on here. I've had a little bit of a problem with the fuel graph, so I've opened up the file and I don't think you can see it, but this is kind of a basic, what do you do with Holley software. This isn't all the shortcuts and all that stuff, guys. There are so many things you can do with this software, but I have so many guys that are just still doing HP tuners that I run around with, and I'm like, you guys got to stop doing that nonsense, because this is what I'm talking about. Holley EFI is so easy. It's awesome. It's great. I love it. Holley doesn't pay me to say that, but if you've ever tried to tune HP tuners, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, just don't start. That's my only word of advice to you. I didn't enjoy it, especially trying to do a nitrous build and all that with HP tuners. But anyway, so here's my basic fuel graph. The problem was I had a clogged fuel filter. Now, I should probably try to show you guys some pictures of what the E85 did to the injectors. The injectors had only been in for 8 months, and it literally rusted the tops. And so anyway, I sent them back, I got them cleaned up, and got them flowed. They sent me a brand new set, everything was taken care of. I was fortunate. So I have set this thing, it is going to be stored on race gas. If it sets more than a month, it's going to have just, I think it's got 93 pump in it right now, literally. And so what happened is, you still see these numbers right here. I think you guys can see my mouse, but as I click down low, this thing likes to idle with about, 9 degrees of vacuum, and about right in here. So what would happen is, you see this right here, these numbers kept climbing. And so I am not about just tuning with numbers, but the problem was it was keep affecting the AFR. So if you come over here, I've got my AFR set. This is kind of where I want them. Now, it's not dialed in. These are ED5 numbers again, so remember, just anything, definitely in that idle range, I'm searching for 14.0. Some guys, we could argue over these 14.0, 14.7, whatever. I'm going to lean on a little bit of the safer side. You don't definitely want to wash the pistons out or wash the rings out or bearings or anything, but 14.0 is not going to be a big deal. Trust me, not a problem. And so I have this set so you guys can see that. Well, the learn, this is the learn. Now, I don't recommend learning to tune off the learn, but this is the learn, and once you get it up to operating temperature, I think it's closed loop. It's got to be over 140 degrees cylinder head temp. You'll start seeing numbers populate here. Actually, I have a number right here in that cell. Now, these numbers just kept changing all the time because it could not push fuel through that fuel filter. Note to self, do not use paper filters with the E85. Only use stainless steel materials with E85. It will make your life so much happier. Methanol, E85, all that, because paper is wood, and what that did is it just swelled and it deteriorated the filter. So I literally could not tune this thing. But as you can see now, down low, it's still high in here. I haven't driven it around. This is just starting it. So I know it looks weird. It looks real weird because I'm like, but down low right here, so I just kind of came in and just selected a number. So I basically just threw 120 down low. Cool. This is going to get us idling. This is going to get us cranked up. It's going to get us moving. Now, I've only got 140 up here up high. You're like, Ryan, that's not a good jump. But I haven't tuned this. Don't go throw these numbers. But basically, at 100% efficiency and 3,000 RPM, I dumped 100 in basically. Okay. Now I've smoothed this a tad, but I came in there, I dumped 100, and I went from there. And it started. It was a little lean, and so I'd still need to clean the fuel tank. Remember, don't try to tune stuff when you have mechanical issues. So I know I've still got a mechanical issues. Then I went to a 10 AN fuel pump or fuel line. You guys can go back and watch these videos. But I changed 10 AN for a draw just because it's gravity fed from the tank to the pump, so it's gravity. So I had 8, I went to 10, so it's 10 from the tank to the pump. One more thing just to help, because I would like this thing to see more boost than what it's seen. So, I don't want to get into all these enrichments over here, but basically you've kind of seen, like, you know, how you come in and down low at idle, you know, kind of getting into a little bit of cruise down here. You know, you're looking for 14, and as you put some load, you're going to kind of move up. I'm not going over that at all. I'm not going over a 3-bar map, so that's why I've got this calculator out. It is not set up here at all, guys. So just remember, I mean, this fuel table, for my spark, I took some fuel out of it. I took some spark out of it down low. Once again, we're talking about idle. This is pump gas. Do not look at these numbers and think you can throw this in. I have messed with these numbers so much. Don't copy this stuff, because I started taking spark out down low, because remember, when you start changing boost, you're going to change fuel and you're going to change spark. Now I'm changing detonation with 93 pump gas. I'm not a professional tuner. This is just my own hot rod that maybe we can hurt some feelings with. So don't go throwing these. This is just a very, I mean, this is basically just a straight out of the Holley, okay? So don't think this is going to get your rig up and running. Don't do this, especially on 93 pump, and go lean on it and think, oh, this is going to be safe, because it's not going to be safe up here, okay? I've heard a lot of people say at 14 pounds of boost, and you're going to want to have 14 degrees of timing. And so there's a lot of things that can go into those numbers, but anyway, 14 at 14 is a general rule of thumb. Now on pump gas, that's not going to apply. So this is an old tune for an old spark table, and I've got to lighten this up a tad. I haven't got around to it, but I haven't started the truck because remember, I got the fenders taken off and I got all these upgrades. I haven't gone in and changed all of this, so I probably just need to go in and throw, oh, let's do that now. Well, I don't want to do that because it's not going to apply, because I haven't synced it. Notice I'm not connected right now, so it's not going to change it on the actual tune. I could take the SD card and do that. But guys, if I want to make a change real quick, say, you know, Holley's screaming at me because they're like, it's just not good, I could come in and boom, voila, populate that. So basically, you can do this smooth if you want, just left click and smooth selected. It works. Let's just do that too, because it's weird, and that kind of smooths that out. Now I don't have anything screaming at me except for over here. You know, but we're talking down low, way down there. You know, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to 160 mile an hour, you know, at cruise, but you never know. I might. Not likely. It's hard to go mow grass and pull lawnmowers at 160 mile an hour with a wore out S10. So anyway, there's my comment. So I'm not too worried about some of this down low, because when I accelerate and you have it attached, it'll create a little red bubble. And that little red bubble will kind of come up this way right through here. So this is kind of like under load, under power, where I'm going to kind of be 6750 at 18 pounds is going to land me right there. So I'm right there. So I've got to work on tuning all of that. I'm not there yet, but this kind of gives you an idea of where you're at. Then you can kind of come over here and look and be like, okay, so see, I've got a flat spot right here, and then it really drops off. So it doesn't really need to do that. This just gives you a graph. Notice I'm a little high down low, but I haven't driven this thing at all, guys. I have no idea how it's going to act, how it's going to respond. But with a clogged fuel filter, what happened, my fuel graph looked like this. Literally, it looked like that, because it was just trying to throw fuel at it all the time. The learn was just trying to dump fuel, so these numbers were continually populating all the time, populating, growing. They would never stay the same, so I could never get it set. Now there's some advanced tuning down the road that's important once you get all this set and safe and established, but that's not what this video is for. But that's what I was working towards, just doing that. I got a buddy that's got a dyno, so maybe here before too long we can get this thing over to the dyno once I get all of this kind of set. I'm gonna do a pump gas tune, so I'll just have a run around town, ice cream, drive to Dallas, drive 200 miles type tune, throw that tune in and go. Then I'm also gonna have a tune where, hey, let's turn it up, let's go for max build, boost, whatever, yeah, whatever. Anyway, full effort, dead on kill, all the things. I like that dead on kill for Duke's dead on kill, but whatever. I've got to get the steam ports changed. If you watch the video in the previous video, you're going to see a lot of this. So you can't just go in and throw a bunch of numbers in tuning when you have mechanical issues, because you can't tune it, and that's what I was running into. So I still don't have all of this set up. I may move this over to fix with CO2, but right now it's on compressor. I'll show you guys something that basically on my dome map on outputs, this is what we're doing. I've got to get this right here. I've got to get this set. So I'm going to be working on this to continue to build that boost. Remember, I've only been on about 7 pounds. So I'll talk about what is target boost and how is this working with my boost solenoid to control the duty cycle on how that's open and closed. This is not set, guys. Do not, oh yeah, that's going to work. This is dyno time. Like, this is where I need to be able to have some pulls to get this stuff going and get this stuff working, or just whatever, riding around. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. I am by no means a genius, but I had this set on 2 pounds of boost, and I never made over 2 pounds of boost, so I've dropped it down to 1. You don't want to move it down too low, because if you do, it'll just keep clicking that solenoid all the time to wear out your solenoid. But basically that's how I set it up, and I got this off Sloppy Mechanic. But you could come back over here into boost on your parameters here, boost setup. You could come in and do it this way. I do have boost scramble. I've got all this wired in. I've just got to get it all set up and connected. There's nothing here that's just like, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing. But this is where you would want to set up if you're running a CO2 right there. And boost first time. So I don't know that this will actually work for sure once I get all that set up, but just kind of showing you guys through the Holley, because I got a lot of you guys that need to move over to this, and it will be super cool. But anyway, so there's what I've got injector wise, injectors pulsing, and this is so what's cool. Your end angle is basically what you need for these injector settings for that to work properly. So it's super cool, guys. But anyway, basic parameters for all that, and compensation learned in cloth. I'm not going to mess with this a whole lot, because eventually I may just basically run it where I want it and not let the computer do anything at all. But for now, it's perfectly fine. So anyway, that's the fueling issues I was having, guys. Just wanted to let you know, and there's a little bit of what you do with volumetric efficiency or your fuel table, and how you move it, where it starts, what's happening, where it's going on. So it's basically a real fundamental video on, hey, I just got a Holley, will my fuel table be safe to start it up? What do I do? These are high, okay, but that's how you want to look and learn to begin to realize, you know, what's happening. Read spark plugs, read spark plugs, read spark plugs. My spark plugs read what my EFR is reading. I should show you some plugs, but I pulled them the other day, because the spark plug will never lie. It sees everything going on. So FYI, guys, there you go. Guys, I hope this helps. If you got comments, drop them down there. Thank y'all for watching. And share this stuff. Hopefully this content's good. Let me know what you want to see, because these are just things that I do, trying to get this pile of bolts running. So anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.